Challenge oko Savannah region and AC or no any nyai. Mene say according to graphic nipa 31 and nipa over 40,000. In fact, figure go to 48,000. And a fi Savannah region, a one northern region. That is President Mahama's home region. Very alarming. Na near who cran say, Omo me dane e bi did that tent money a dear no. Baby omo ko Burkina no. Omo so mu dane from land dispute no. E where jihadist zone. Unsa Burkina country ni bo wa. Omo ye kwamukafo na age country na fa. Areho. Na muntaka kasa wo ho. Meme it's sad. Me pese obi a hwebi. Wo nuanom wo ha start from. Bia kasa bi nyina ye betimi aya. Na yenye and I'm the one critical analyst channel. Make sure so subscribe my subscriber na click the notification. Me the video be tuma. Ube hunu etimi ahwebi. I'll allow to read your comment on this matter. But answer na because on a coupon rate. And me the link in the description. But App Store okay OCC Play Store the Oko website and so you can click the link and get there. A platform obe kono person send this kakobe bia obi a person send this command bia oboshima about 10 remitting platforms so don't rate be man. No what choosing e be na de didwuma. And open na me hu story no. I wanted to do it earlier but bibi de me call baby kakra to fencheme. And a graphic online and destroyed by as reposted by my jaw online or say 13 more people have died. A ongoing land dispute in Jinjiri in Savannah region, bringing the death toll to 31. Yes, I saw some Echimwashi be a bananipa 31. A started be 2 weeks in it and a free. Nania who won't pan say, the same incident na escalate yama solar tuna kaba district. 12 communities go one and tokano aje jiremu pame ma enem kola emwa thing. I mean, nipa 48,000 according to Nadmo no omedwane. Na ne hu ne say 14,000 per Nadmo figures and the omedwane ko Burkina Faso any Cote d'Ivoire so mo ko pet refuge o. Minya asemo ko tibi we. Ghana na anopay on Joy News Muntaka we interior minister and national security minister ekasaka on the subject matter saying it here.
Some about 48,000 people have been displaced, with others running to La Côte d'Ivoire as refugees. What is happening, Honorable Interior Minister? How are we dealing with this situation?
Let me start by thanking you once again and thanking for the opportunity to have this discussion. Well, it's just so unfortunate that it came to this. As you may be aware, all this started, I think, on the 24th, where there was some dispute about the piece of land, which is just about a quarter of a plot, and that led to the death of 3 Gunjas and 2 Grefus. And unfortunately, it's immediately spread to the Bole Bambor area. And unfortunately, it led to all this unfortunate situation. Yes, it's true. We have displaced persons across about 4 regions, partly Upper West, the Savannah itself, where people have been displaced internally. Then you have others around Buni East, and then some few, not even say few, some substantial number also across the river. If you know the terrain very well, it has a border community with Cote d'Ivoire. So when that happened, a lot of people crossed the borders. And after yesterday, working with the Ivorian authorities, we can confirm that about 13,000 individuals are in Cote d'Ivoire.
13,000 Ghanaians.
Come again?
13,000 Ghanaians from just these areas are in La Côte d'Ivoire?
Yes. The exact number communicated to us by the government of Cote d'Ivoire is 13,253 have been displaced and they are there. Yes, our DCs and MCs are NADMO and senior government officials. We've done our best to reach out to them and we are in touch with them. We are supporting them the best that we can. And let me take this opportunity to also thank the government of Cote d'Ivoire for the support that they are giving us and the cooperation. And then the UNHCR for their also support. And also there's a CAT fund that has also supported with relief items. The military and the police, my special thanks goes to them because, believe me, they are being overstretched. We thank them so much for the sacrifice that they are making. We don't take their sacrifices lightly. We know they are doing the best that they can to keep our country safe. But this is a very difficult situation. Myself, I was tasked by the president and I led the delegation to the Yagbonwura. And we've been able to make a lot of progress. And as I speak to you today, this morning, the delegation of Rufus leadership are in Damangu with the Peace Council to see the Yagbonwura. And I'm very optimistic with the way we are working. Hopefully, by the close of tomorrow or latest by Monday, we are setting up a committee to investigate into details all this and then come out with a report on how best we can avoid this thing from reoccurring. Once we set up a committee and today's meeting with Yagbonwura concludes very well, we may be able to announce for all the displaced persons to return to their homes. Because this farming season, many of them left from farm to the areas where they find themselves now. Their animals, their food, their farm, and all those are left unattended. And if we don't resolve this quickly, we ourselves know it will lead to a lot of food insecurity in that area. So we are working tirelessly with all the traditional authorities to ensure that normalcy is returned very, very soon.
Now, the meeting with the Yagbonwura that you talk about, what does that meeting seek to achieve? What are the things you're going to be discussing concerning this conflict?
Well, for us, I will not be able to give you the fine details of our discussion, but it's all centered around how we can coexist peacefully with one another. Because for us, we believe that there have been some undercurrents that have led to this. Because if there's a misunderstanding between Muntaka and Wilson about a piece of land, why should it be about Muntaka's tribe and Wilson's tribe? But because there have been some undercurrents, and if you don't deal with those undercurrents and you pretend that, oh, it is just about Muntaka and Wilson, you have this occurrence. And that was the Yagbonwura, who is the overlord of the Gunja land, which is elders and some chiefs. And then also meet the leadership of the British. We met both sides just to de-escalate, to let them appreciate the security situations that this has led to and how, if we don't manage it very well, can lead to a much broader conflict. And I think that all of them appreciated the dynamics involved in this thing and all agreed to work towards rebuilding peace and coexistence. Because they've lived together for centuries, and sometimes it just this self-suspicion. And unfortunately, for the young ones who are in Accra and Kumasi and big cities, and sometimes even abroad, who just take advantage of social media, sit down and take the phone and make all manner of derogatory comments about each other. I hope that they will appreciate that coexisting as one people is more important than any other thing. Let's try as much as possible. So one of the things that I've noticed since I became Minister of Interior is we are largely trying to become tribesmen, where we are all trying to emphasize on our tribe, forgetting that we are first Ghanaians before any other thing. Yeah, someone will say that, no, I was first born in my tribe before. No, I believe that your emphasis should be the Ghanaianness in you before any other thing, because it's the Ghanaianness in us that has given us the constitution, that has given us the liberty that all of us are able to crisscross this country. I mean, you can have a Dajari living in Accra and he can own property and do everything. You can have an Asante in the Wa owning property and do everything. It's because of the Ghanaianness in us. So if we don't emphasize on the Ghanaianness in us and we all begin to, I think we are tribe men and women, where we overemphasize on our tribe, we are likely to have ourselves moving ourselves back into primitive, where people just believe that you can win a war and take land by simply massing up your number and showing force. But that cannot happen under the constitutional dispensation that we find ourselves. So this is how we are dealing with it. But I can assure you that normalcy is almost returned. In the past 7 days, we've not had any, even a shooting incident. Our men in uniform are giving out their very best. We have over 700 men, both military and police, in that area, and they are helping to maintain peace and order. Yes, we have a curfew there. We are looking at the possibility of reviewing all that as normal.
So, how many people have been confirmed dead so far?
Well, on record, what we have is 31. I've been hearing people saying the numbers could be more, but unfortunately, we can only work with what is official. When I say official, that both sides report. This person is dead, that person is dead, and we have the dates that each person died, where the person died. Many of them are in the morgue. So those ones are. But if there's something that has not come to our attention, we'll not be able to say. But I can tell specifically we've lost about 31 of our compatriots. And then the sad thing is that it's not only even just Gonja and British. I'm going through the news. I saw some who, by virtue of being around, also hit by stray bullet and what have you.
Now, talking about the fact that, you raised the question about the fact that it cannot happen, that you and I, we have a conflict, and then, my other side, your side, all get involved, and probably there are some undertones here. But these undertones, our inability to spot them early, is another security failure, an intelligence failure, if I should say.
Well, to some extent, I'll agree with you, but the limitations of our constitution in Article 270, where it's barred the past, even Parliament, from passing laws that affect citizenship. You see that there's a chieftaincy problem. And apart from going to provide security and try to prevent it from escalating, you cannot even suggest to Parliament that maybe pass this law to do ABC. You just have to wait for the regional house of chiefs and the national house of chiefs. So it's a very difficult thing. I'm sure you might have heard me a number of times since I became minister, where I'm saying that the time has come for us to call a national conference on chieftaincy in our country. Because unfortunately, this is the symbol of our identity, our culture, our dignity. But unfortunately, the way it's being handled now, it's almost pushing us, it's becoming a curse. Chieftaincy is almost becoming a curse to us. Currently, the data we have, which I'm trying to develop and make it an annual announcement where we map out what we call the peace map, so we all know within our country which area is peaceful, which area is less peaceful, and all that. And then come out with peace index to say that which community is the most peaceful, so that as a way of motivating each community to come up. It tells me that we have about 338 hotspots. And Wilson, it will shock you to know about 190 of this 380 is all chieftaincy. How did we arrive at this? And then when you go, even the secondary one, like land disputes, you go and realize that the long run, it will bring you back to chieftaincy. And where you have community disturbances, you take it and go and look at it, you see still it takes you to chieftaincy. So if you are not careful, chieftaincy will become a big hell for us. And the earlier we look at it, especially now that the constitutional review is going on, if we can look at it dispassionately and see what we can do, it will help us. So yes, sometimes the intelligence will pick their look. We have this tension here. We will try and go in. But because of our inability to be able to pass a law or to prevent it, you'll be there and then something little will happen like this one. I mean, we've always known that the issue about settler communities and the indigenous communities exists in almost every part of our country. And one group is cultivating the land as farmers, the others are the landowners, and sometimes there's this little misunderstanding. We've always known, and I can tell you almost every part of this country where you have that one kind of challenge or the other. But because you are not able to pass laws to do anything about them, you'll be sitting there and then you don't realize that, like this one, where you give a land to one, and then he's developing it, then another person can say that no, this land has been given to me. What we will call in Accra and Kumasi and now is a double sale. And then before you realize, it leads to pooling of guns. And then now when the guns are pooled, people are not relating it to the community and the two individuals, but immediately escalate it to their tribes and lead to all these unfortunate incidents.
Okay.
So yes, the security agencies are doing their very best, but the difficulty that we have is that our hands are tied when it comes to sometimes trying to pass laws to mitigate this when it affects citizens.
Yes, President Mahama, we the home region. And the manimu ya ni ebe ye bia se no na mu mintakaka na omane hemfo na wo na kasa no bibia na yen solve it. Yen find a lasting solution to this. It do say ye man nkola ho kire wo. Oh, na enya de papa. Nipa 31. I mean, it will become na be a breadwinners. Security situation and kasa no. I think say President Mahama security there so mo ani ko ho. I think say ye security no enye nansen yayi ga homo yayi esiye eyi nanse boku conflict etija kakra. I think the security there o capos mo ani kom the CDS, the IGP, honorable Muntaka responsible for national as a security in some na yayi kakra nanse na chronosem so ne ade no ese hwe especially within the north. And enter ya alarm and say ope Ghana ha you may say Ghana, upper sub-region, baby back one jihadists, a kunuka for terrorism activities, koso, what I read you and reporter, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. So we need to be careful. Sending Krufu and quite attractive one any idea, be grand infiltrate, grand family, yenny maybe. We need our peace as a country. And whatever you be sika, be a bit my sustain a peace, no. President Mahama, Regency, we are now boy, a man, ya bejatum. Yes, sustain peace. This is your home region. It doesn't send a good picture. Let's fix the peace situation there. Now, couples, no, omontanas nansa kweti omo ye fa ye nyina ya bo mabaso. Nyina omo bo mabaso afa ye omo ye the kama. But I think say chieftaincy conflict sa hanketen ye nyina mfiri wo. Say bi otumfo bi na ebe hiana na yompempon bi na titiri bi, you know, people who have lot of command, lot of respect, feuding fashions in about pilitu no makama to atoyama ba yenye enya de papa kra enya de papa se me nua bi so wo ho na wo hwe video ya mesrewa no ahwo ho so yi ensusu jangum why ensusu jangum na yenyina yenye ne boko comment mame na subscribe or subscribe na click bell notification wo ho bia or the situation e can give me an update on it nyina e boko why na pan rating so mo subscribe mame mo download the App Store, sorry, or call website and that's why I hear they provided the link a bit in the Play Store. No, now what they do to me in rating in the amount. Now what choosing your bebo. Coca Caribbean be say Ghana, see the next as free kakra. And you know, what did you do my bebo? I mean, sure, no count. Say the Biamican, me here Ghana, see you to show me, mammy. Bye bye.